Hello, 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 all you lovely, lovely, lovely Tater Tots. Welcome back, my basketball baddies and hoop shooting hotties. It's your girl, Mackenzie, and tonight we're bouncing straight into a game of wigs, weaves, and basketball drama. It's episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 10, and the queens have got one shot, one opportunity to shoot their shot and snatch a spot in the semifinals. And I'm not alone tonight. I have my fierce all-star analyst in the house. Give it up for my courtside cutie, Miss Dakota.
Hi, everybody.
Unfortunately, Tsunami, Rayne, Duvall is not going to be available tonight, but we will have her back next week. So, Dakota, what'd you think of this episode and the ending of bracket 1?
I thought overall it was a good episode. Like, I always like a good makeover challenge. And those basketball players were gorgeous. Like, gorgeous. I'm so used to like basketball players like around here. The girls are just like very butch and very like plain Jane. They don't really care about makeup, which is fine. But
these girls were butch too, but
they were, but like so pretty. Like, and they're like, oh well, we can't wear makeup and stuff, but like we still like to be girly like on our off days and stuff. It was a cute episode.
We have a few comments. Sophie Dovey says, see you July 10th for Big Brother. Knowing the Queen, see you July 17th. Ha ha, very funny. No, we will more than likely be here July 10th. More information coming, and I'm actually going to talk about that at the end of the episode. Ben said, Kenzie and Dakota, come save me. I hate tornadoes. Oh, I'm sorry, Ben. Yeah, I forgot that you're in that part of the state or country, and yeah, we love you. Stay safe. Sophie Dophie says drag race and basketball don't sound right. I know, Sophie Dophie, it really doesn't.
RuPaul is trying to shoot a goal, and when he doesn't shoot it, he's like
and falls on the ground and rolls over. Ben says Kenzie stays doing these scripted intros. Yep. Well, I mean, we need to do something to open it up. So, hey, better than nothing. Sophie Dophie says, can July 10th come soon enough? No, it cannot, Sophie Dophie. It's, and this is a birthday present for me because my birthday is July 12th. So this is the early birthday present for me, Big Brother. Ben also says, these petty boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. Then Joseph Collins says, we need more first boots. Bring back pork chop. She had a bad night 16 years ago. Irene is proving that's all it is. Maybe the fans will back off these first boots now. I agree, Joseph Collins. I would love to see pork chop come back. I would love to see, even though she's had a chance already on All Stars, I would love to see Naysha Lopez come back and have a fair shot. Like, there's several first boots. I think we can keep off. Is it Magnolia Crawford? Was she a first boot?
Didn't Naysha Lopez, she was like first or second one off on her
All Stars. She was second on All Stars, I think.
Okay, on All Stars. What was she on her original season?
No, she was first boot on her All Stars, and she was second boot. Or no, she was first boot on her season and second boot on All Stars. Sophie Duffy said, pork chop who? There's a drag queen called Victoria Pork Chop Parker, and she was the first queen to enter the workroom, if I'm not mistaken. No, Chanel was. Mm-hmm. But she was the first boot on the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race, and she is phenomenal. And so whenever someone's a first boot, they call them the pork chop because her nickname was Pork Chop. Joseph Collins says Kelly Mantle would kill. I completely agree. Kelly Mantle would kill if she was given a chance, to come back and do a season.
Who was it? Who was it that I was saying? I always forget her name. I always thought that Kelly Mantle reminds me of Christine Baranski,
Mm-hmm.
like Mamma Mia. She played Martha May, Huvier, and The Grinch. That is who Kelly Mantle gives me. Like her voice, identical. Identical.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get started, I want to follow up on some drama that we reported on last week. And that was where Maddie Morphosis was originally supposed to be on this season. And she dropped out at the last minute. And that's what allowed Lydia Butthole Collins to be replaced. So some more tea has come out about that. So if you watch Roscoe's recap, they brought up all of this tea. And Naisha Lopez has claimed or insinuated that Maddie was asked to leave the competition by production and was kicked out. And she says that like it's a fact. So she probably has some tea that we don't have. But it's also alluding to it could have been something in the background investigation that popped up. And then claims that Morgan McMichaels, who was called to be the replacement nominee for her, but the network would not clear Morgan McMichaels because they didn't have enough time to do a full background check on her. So since they had to have a full background check done within a certain amount of time, they had to go with an season 17 cast because they were the ones that had just had all background checks done within the last month and a half, 2 months, and they picked Lydia. So just a little bit more tea and information coming out.
I know that was bothering you last episode. When we did the first and second episode last week, it was bothering you that you didn't know why.
Just Colin said, not for misconduct, but just because she was boring, dead ass.
I didn't like, she wasn't really like that funny on, it was kind of like Trixie. Trixie was a comedy queen, but she really wasn't funny on Drag Race. And then like you really got to see her after Drag Race. Same with Maddie Morphosis. Hilarious at the reunion when she was reading people. She's like, Orion Story, how's your last name Story, but you can't even read. And then her on her podcast, I watch it every week. Like so good. And she's hilarious. But I don't know, maybe it just competition mode just isn't for her.
Yeah, you know what I want to see a season of? I want to see a RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Comedy Queens or Battle of the Comedy Queens or something like that. Or
All-Stars Villains with Gia Gunn.
Yeah, I mean, we could do villains too, but like I really would love a comedy, like, and maybe have Jinx host that season or something because she was so good at stuff, but like have it very impersonation heavy, very comedy challenge heavy, like roasting heavy, acting challenge heavy, just to kind of, I don't know. I think that would be a fun season to watch. But anyway, let's get started. Let me find, there it is. There we go. All right, y'all. We start right where we left off. Queens stomping back into the workroom after the main challenge on the main stage for season 2, or for episode 2. And Aja is feeling a certain kind of way. Aja is saying that that she wasn't in the bottom 4, that she prefers to think of herself as in the top 3 that didn't get a placement for a lip sync. Love that illusion. Very on brand. Do you think she's a confident queen or a delusional diva?
I do think that she is confident, but I do think with confidence comes a bit of delusion. We definitely saw that with Valentina on her All-Stars season. She's like, I'm very upset that the judges did not like my outfit. She's like, I think that I was in the top. And they're like, okay, girl. Okay, you were in the top in your own mind.
Joe said to my comment about the comedy challenge, and I said Jinx should host it. Jinx is too busy having Lin-Manuel Miranda look at her like she's God's greatest gift to ever do Drag Race again. Hand for Hand was great this year. Yep, I agree. Yep. Okay, so We then drive, we are diving headfirst into badge bestowal ballads. Baby, the alliances are aligned. Aja gives her badge to Olivia. MEMOO alliance in full effect. Phoenix gives hers to Deja. Olivia, ... gives hers to Deja too. Now, the tension here got real thick because Deja's got a choice. And she decides that she's going to hand her badge right back to Olivia, leaving Phoenix out there with no love, no badge, and a chip on her shoulder.
I really think if they were trying to be fair, they would have given everybody, that way everybody would have had an equal playing field. But the alliances, I don't know. I feel like they work to a certain extent, and then towards the end, they just like fall apart. I don't know how real these alliances are, or if they're just playing it up for TV. But it doesn't make sense to have an alliance with more than when you have alliances that are overlapping. So then when you show your loyalty to one of the other alliances that you had after another person that you had an alliance with first, then it looks like you're not loyal. That you're just
yeah, it does make sense to me to have alliances that overlap because I'm a gamer and that just makes sense. Where it doesn't is where you're having to give away a point and you only have 1 point to give away because then your cards are about to get shown. So yeah, multiple alliances would work, but just not this season, this format right now. Because like you're saying, they're fixing to get, they're overextending themselves. But at this point, here's how the scores are looking. We have Irene and Bosco tied at 4. Aja, Olivia, and Deja tied at 3. And poor Phoenix with 1 lonely little old point.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Normally the alliances are kind of kept hush-hush, but they were like really out in the open with their alliances. Like, oh, this is my alliance, and because I'm loyal to her and I'm going to give her the point to her. It was so weird, like the dynamic of these, I guess because it's a small group and they're fighting for there's 6 of them, they're fighting for 3 spots. Maybe that's why everybody kind of knew that there was going to be alliances, because there was like 2 girls. Every 2 girls had kind of a clique before they even came in with Olivia Lux and Aja, because they're from Ballroom together. And then you have Bosco and Irene do drag together all the time and they're friends. And then you've got Deja and Phoenix, who knew them but like didn't really have like a click when they came in.
Yep. So we move on along to the next morning, and the girls enter the workroom, and baby, they are pressed. Aja calls out Olivia for being disloyal, and in doing so, she outs the MEMOO alliance. And what does Olivia do? She defends herself, and in doing so, reveals Melanation Station Alliance. And Phoenix and Bosco and Irene are sitting there going, cue the crickets chirping. But then Phoenix reminds everybody that she's got the golden goose egg of the group, and basically says, y'all better be nice to me because I'm gonna have the last vote that could save your wig. Could that be Olivia's fortune-telling ghost from last episode making a prediction? So were you living for this alliance drama, or was it giving Survivor fan fiction?
I was kind of living for it. Like, it's good to see the girls like actual friendships. We all know, even as best friends, we don't always agree and see things eye to eye. So it was kind of nice to see like a little bit of turmoil, because I don't know.
Just like these girls need to take a page from 3. Clean that up a bit. Alliances need to remain secret. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. All the alliances really weren't outed until the very end on all the other All-Stars. It was outed like on literally the 3rd episode.
This was technically the last episode.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, there's also going to be a continuation once they get all 3 tiers.
Yeah, but with none of them.
True.
Only one.
I'm happy because one of my draft picks is made it to the final 3. So
We'll get to that in a minute. Let's see. And now let's talk basketball makeovers. The queens are paired with real-life college basketball players and must turn them into glamazon drag sisters while writing and performing a song called Shoot Your Shot. But first, it's going to be time for a free throw challenge to decide the pairings. Because why? Sports go hand in hand with drag, obviously. Girl, if you walked on that stage and they said, we're going to play basketball today. I'm just gonna say right now, I would have flopped. I don't throw balls. I get balls thrown at me.
yeah. I don't know, like I'm pretty, I don't know. Am I competitive? Am I not? I don't know. I think I would have had fun with it though. I think
the players that we are going to be working with this episode are Lauren from UCLA. We have Abby from San Diego State University, Maya from Loyola Marymount University, Hunter from the University of California, Irvine, and we find out that Hunter and Maya are sisters. They look nothing alike.
I see it. If I think it's because they have curly hair, and the one with curly hair, her hair's down in her face. I think if you pulled it back, you'd really be able to see her bone structure.
Maybe so. Yeah. Then we have Neve from University of California, Irvine, and finally Talia from University of Southern California.
Yeah, the first one, Lauren, she was like the tallest one with like the long dark hair. I thought she was so pretty. She I don't know, like she was the tallest. I don't know. Beautiful, like dark skin, long hair. She had like a deeper voice. I just thought she was so pretty.
Yeah. I really liked Hunter, and I also really did like Lauren as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were all gorgeous girls, but like if those were the two I would have wanted to have picked. And you answered my question. Like that was my next question: is which one of these would you have wanted to have been paired up with?
Lauren.
Yep. But we do find out to pair up the queens. The queen that pairs up all the queens will be the one who gets the most free throws in 60 seconds. Before this challenge started, did you think anyone particular would suck, and did you think anyone particular would excel?
Honestly, I didn't expect any of them to do as well as they did. Like I was like, oh, they're gonna maybe get 1 or 2 in. Irene, we know, very competitive, very, very, very competitive.
Well, first up we have Deja. She got 4.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Irene, who gets 8. Next up is Aja, who gets 5. Next up is Olivia, who gets 3. Then we've got Phoenix, who gets 6. And honestly was looking like Trade out there throwing back. I'm like, oh, okay, come on, bitch.
Which is a feat in itself because Phoenix is the shortest.
Yep. And then we have Bosco, who got 7. And the winner was Irene, the alien.
If anyone, I thought Aja was probably going to do the best just because Aja comes from New York. Mm-hmm. And that's like very like growing up on the streets in New York, like basketball.
Hi, Calvin.
Hi. Basketball is just it's part of like New York culture when you're growing up, like especially when you live in the boroughs. So I kind of expected her to do the best, but you know, Irene's the most competitive, so I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So we get the queens. Challenge is giving. Let's see where I can't. I've lost my place. I lost my place. So the queens get into the workroom, and honestly, I was surprised with the workroom, and I was surprised with the main stage when they're on the main stage working, because no one's really standing out as a weak link. You know what I mean? Like, usually on these challenges, we get a queen or one of the, the queens getting the makeovers that are like, no, and they really are putting on,
But you also know that, like, the last couple of seasons, especially with cancel culture, they, yes, we love Aja. Love her. She's one of my faves. She's one of my top picks for the season. We've seen with cancel culture and stuff, the judges being nicer. I do see that Michelle is starting to go back to her old ways, which we kind of like. But for the most part, they've changed not only the format, but like the way they do things, just because they're trying to be like more kind to the queens, especially all-star queens. So I think that's probably a little bit to do with it, where they're not editing or like telling the girls like, oh no, you need to like fight a little bit on this, or like, oh, say this, or like say absolutely not to this. I think maybe that's why, or maybe because of the format with it being only 3 episodes per bracket, they're trying to like move it through. There's only so much they can fit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We find out that the queens are going to write, record, and perform the brand new Beat Ball Hop Shoot Your Shot. On top of having to walk the main stage. Have they ever had a makeover challenge where they made the girls being made over like record, learn, and perform a song? I know they've like performed to a song, but I don't think they've ever had to write and record a song before.
I don't think they had to write their own song. I think they just had to perform to a Drag Race song and learn choreography, but I don't know if they also had to write on top of that. Yeah, I don't think so.
So to go through the girls, Deja's feeling very confident going into this challenge. We get Irene, and her girl is wanting to be super film, but Irene is wanting fantasy, high-end, call girl, hooker, clown.
Giving us Pennywise in space.
And girl, the look on this girl's face.
Well, when she said, I saw the caller and thought Irene was out for sure. Yeah. But we know, like, also, like, Irene is very, she's like, yeah, she's theatrical, but like high fashion at the same time. So I kind of knew when she said, like, clown, but make it fashion, I kind of knew that it was probably going to be good.
Yeah.
Just because she's kind of out there with her style anyway. I kind of knew that she was going to work it out. I actually didn't mind it. I'm not a big clown person, but I actually didn't mind the outfits.
I didn't either. House of D says Michelle is going back to her old way of judging, but this time it's not coming off as malice. Yeah. I agree. And we'll get to that here in just a little bit, D, but I honestly agreed with Michelle's critiques. But we'll get to that here in just a few minutes when we go over the critiques of the looks. Let's see. We're going to move through these real quick. We've got Olivia, and Olivia shares with her girl that her and Aja are at odds. And Nevaeh reminds her that this is a competition and you have to, put your friendships aside sometimes in a competition.
These girls, I will say that too. Like, these girls were like putting the All-Stars cast like in check. Like, they were the ones giving them advice. And honestly, like, I felt like the relationships with these girls and the All-Stars girls with the makeovers, normally you don't really get to see that much. Or like, oh, maybe like they say a couple of words, or like maybe one of them has something insightful. Yes. But all of them were like really bonding with their girls and giving them like really, really wise and philosophical advice about the competition. And I really enjoyed that.
Well, and let's be honest, a lot of these, queens, they've been in the spotlight, but since they've been in the spotlight, it's just kind of been, it's easy to get in your head whenever, you're in the spotlight in that point, and it's easy to like not let outside voices get in. You kind of just block things off at times. And then you become friends with these people. And a lot of times I feel like in All Stars, we see people trying to be too kumbaya and too, oh, you're my sister, I can't compete. No, it's just competition. Judge Collins said, I don't think it comes off as malice because she's not punching down. These queens are all head and shoulders above the quality of any cast we've seen since All Star 7. I agree with you, actually, Joseph.
Yeah, kind of what Mackenzie said. Mackenzie was saying, like, really nobody was bad. Like, everybody did, like, really well. Maybe you preferred, like, an outfit more than the others, or maybe you like the makeup on somebody better. But, like, everybody is, like, top tier so far in this bracket this season.
Yeah. And, you know, like, there's a few where it's like, you know, the energy probably wasn't there for some of the challenges. But, like, Life's Challenge was an acting challenge, but it was an improv challenge as well. And no one just sucked ass. Like, some people could have been a little bit better. But, I mean, you know, yeah. Then we get Aja, and Aja and her girl says that they need to have fun and focus on the family aspect of this challenge. She should have taken her own advice. And Bosco and Lauren are bonding over being gorgeous. And they're going to call themselves pretty privileged, but at that moment, they are pretty blank on what to do.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious, their little conversation. Like, what's it like to, like, go through life and be so pretty? Like, I thought that was so cute. And then, like, they're, like, making fun of Irene's rap or Irene's lyrics. And they're like, okay, girl. And they're like, really? Read us yours. She's like, we're still working on it.
Yeah. That was very me coded. So we see Phoenix and Maya on the main stage practicing, and Maya says it is hard to be sexy because her hips do lie all the time. And y'all, when I tell you, I almost spilled my food, I almost spit out my drink when Bosco tells her girl that she likes to think of working the runway as a Bible verse. And there's a Bible verse that comes to mind every time she's on the runway. And it's something in Leviticus that says, and thou shalt feel the beat of the music down on your pussy and slay.
I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be like an actual Bible verse. I didn't realize it was going to be that. Like, I was dying. This is probably the funniest episodes.
The demon queen herself quoting the Bible, and it's not the Bible, it's the Bible according to Irene, which I do that all the time. You know, I've said, you know, but I'll be like, in the Bible, the chapter, or in the book of Mackenzie, chapter 16, verse 83, you know.
And the sad thing is, you know the Bible front to back because she went to a Christian college.
Sure did.
In the Panhandle. Back in the 1800s when it first opened.
Hi. Welcome to Pensacola Christian College in beautiful, sunny Pensacola, Florida. Here, we're only 15 minutes away from the white, sunny sand beaches, Pensacola, Florida, on the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. Praise her. Praise her. Shabba-dabba-da. Yes, honey. We got to see a chance of some of the other pairs rehearsing, and so far, like I said earlier, no red flags are standing out as anyone who is going to be in trouble. And that honestly shocked the shit out of me. We get into the queens coming into the workroom, getting ready for the main stage, and shock of all shocks, Deja asked her girl if she's going to be willing to shave off her brows. And she's like, sure, girl.
I was shocked. Like, I was shocked. I think there was like one other person that did that in the past, and it was a guy. And he shaved off his eyebrows and his beard.
It was last season. It was, oh God, I just went a blank.
Oh, Anya Nerd's dad?
Anya's dad, yes.
I guess I forgot about that. But for me, it wouldn't have mattered to me because, I mean, I don't have eyebrows anyway. I literally have to, like, draw mine on every day. But I will say, her eyebrows, she has such light hair and she's so light complected anyway with that strawberry blonde. Her eyebrows really didn't show that much anyway, so it wasn't really that drastic. But I thought that was dedication to like shave off your eyebrows. Like Irene was like, oh, why would you even ask that? And then she's like, sure, let's do it. Let's shave them off.
She would ask that because they don't have much time to get ready. They may have 2 hours to do both of them in makeup, if that.
Wow. So like Deja doesn't have to work. Like Deja doesn't.
And that takes 25, 30 minutes to glue down those brows properly.
I will say she took it the easy way. She just did clippers on it. So there was still hair there, just not like long enough for it to like mess with the eyeshadow. So, I mean, really she had like at least like a half an inch of hair to work with afterwards.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, kudos to her, girl. Ben says, I'm so hungry I could eat Aja. I hope you like spicy, because that bitch is spicy. Can you not eat? Are you locked down because of the storm? Hold on, let me look at my map, because you got me concerned if you can't go out and get food. And
does he live in Tornado Alley?
Lives in the Midwest. We'll just put it that way. That's the best way to probably.
We're not talking out where any of our viewers live or anything. I was just curious. Ben is.
Ooh, child, yeah.
Yeah, Ben is dealing with some not so amazing weather. They're having tornadoes where he lives. So y'all send some positive energy and good vibes his way.
Girl, this is a meme. LOL. Okay, well.
I'm so hungry I could eat Aja. They're making fun of her weight.
See, you saying shit like that and talk about tornadoes earlier. Yeah, you just trying to fuck with me today, Ben. That's what you're trying to do. I see how it is. You can't. Well, I guess Aja. Okay. Okay. So I was watching Sibling Roshery earlier today, and it was Bob and
Monet.
No, it's not Monet. Fuck. Hold on. Now I've got to look and see because I can't remember. Hold on. She was the Fashion Queen season 9.
Miss Fame?
No. My baby don't mess around unless I know for sure. But okay, hey Naomi.
Naomi Smalls.
Okay.
And Naomi said something on there about, the plus size girls, like they've lost weight on this episode or this group, but they're all still plus size. And I was like, that is so fucking mean. Like, I mean, it's true, but
even like Roxy Andrews. Like Roxy Andrews was like a thicker girl, and then she lost weight on her before her All-Star season, and then of course when she came back for the All-Star season the second time, she was like a little bit thicker, like she was on her original season. But like even when she lost weight, she's like, I will always be a thick girl. She's like, I'm tall, I'm broad, like I will always be a thick girl. But Aja was very trim prior to like when she was on her original season in All-Star, she was very trim and very toned. But we know since her All-Star season originally, she started transitioning in the last couple of years. She's been on hormones, and we know the estrogen cravings, baby, are real. So I'm not hating on her because I yo-yo with my weight too, and I know the struggle, and I think she's beautiful either way.
Just Colin said, I can't leave either. Arkansas is looking rough right now. The whole Mid-South is terrible for the next 2 days. Yeah, I flew back into the South last week to take care of some stuff and to go and see Dakota. And then I flew back, and I was so happy for beautiful California weather. Ben says, no, Dakota, it generally means you can eat someone that triggers someone else. That's what he meant by that comment.
I don't get it. Well, I wasn't saying that's what you're saying, Ben. I was questioning. I was like, oh, is it because there's a whole bunch of like memes and comments about Aja's like weight? Like, I've seen a ton of them. I was just asking. I was not putting that on you, Ben, at all.
House of D said, am I the only one that needs more Maddie? No, you are not the only one that needs more Maddie. I fucking love Maddie. And,
Yes.
that's something else that they said on Roscoe's recap is, and I kind of agree with, I'm a little bit tired of Ross Matthews. Like, can we replace him with more Maddie?
The funniest, our funny man, the comedian himself, Ross Matthews.
I think Carson is funnier than Ross Matthews.
He is. He's just naturally funny. But like, why has Ross Matthews been marketed as a comedian? Although his personality is cute and everything, and he's like one of those judges that's kind of like the Paula, I guess you could say. His symbolism and his critiques kind of irks me sometimes, but like, why is he marketed as a comedian or a funny man? Like, I've never seen a stand-up or anything where he's just funny.
Well, he's not really. I wouldn't say he's really that. He's just, yeah.
No hate towards him. I just like, they market him as like a comedian or a funny man. I'm like, where?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to find. It won't play. So we're gonna move on along. Sorry. Joseph Collins says, second puberty is no joke. Feed to your face, you'll grow a girl. For real. And trust me, like, you just redistributing all that weight to other parts of your body and growing some titties and some hips and girl.
Like, I had it a little bit easier, like, with me going through puberty, at like 13, 14, 15. And then, like, literally, like, I was 18, 19, starting estrogen and going through puberty all over again. I had it so close. It's like almost like a continuation with, like, spurts of differentiation. And then, like, I just feel like it's harder to, like, when you transition a little bit later, because you, like, have this long break where nothing's happening, and then you start hormones that's like, bam, like, all these changes.
House D says, I'm tired of Carson and Ross. They can bring back Lonnie Love and Nicole Breyer. Joseph Collins says, Dakota is too young to remember Ross on Leno every week. And I don't think it's even every week. I think it was just about every night. Intern Ross. So he was very funny there, and I think that's where he got his boost really from, was the Jay Leno show.
I did not know he was on Jay Leno.
Yep, he was like their intern, and he did all of these interviews, and a lot of it was Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. But then he did a lot of stuff on the street and talking to people that were stupid. And
okay.
That was also during the Bush administration years. So yeah,
I know Jay Leno because of late night, and there's been a bunch of like late night hosts. But like Joan Rivers said, one of the only late night hosts that she does not like, she's like, "Oh, Jay Leno, the late night host that's not funny."
There's been two.
What?
There's not been a lot. There's been two.
Jay Leno, Johnny Carson.
Well, I mean, two in mine and your lifetime.
What do you mean?
There's been two late night show hosts on mine and your lifetime.
Well, I'm just talking about late night hosts in general, not just like the late.
Then there's been three.
The Johnny Carson show, and then we had Jay Leno, and then we have Jimmy Fallon. Mm-hmm. Then we have Jimmy Kimmel.
That is not the same show. That is a different show.
I know, but I'm saying late night show hosts.
But no, that was the Tonight Show, the late night show that was what it was called. And so, yeah. Like, girl. Ben says, I'm still pissed at how dirty they did Carson on Celebrity Big Brother. I agree.
I didn't get to watch that season. Like, did he didn't make it very far?
You'll have to watch it to see. And then you need to watch US Big Brother, and you need to watch how shady down the house boots Ross was on his season. Ross is funny. It's just we want someone new. I need more Law and Jamal. Dakota could totally be a get ready with me TikToker. That skincare is slay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And before COVID, we used to have two guest judges, not just one. Ben said Kenzie would hate watch What Happens Live. No, actually, I enjoy watching Watch What Happens Live. It has to be a guest that I enjoy or give a damn about, because some of them are just crazy.
Like the way Kathy Griffin read Andy Cohen, like she was giving all of the trade secrets. She's like, yeah, like, I mean, I went on the show and, I love my gays, so I thought it was going to be fun. But like when everybody is literally like the host is literally offering you cocaine, I'm like, oh my God.
Conan had the Tonight Show and Leno would not leave and drove him out. And Ben says, I need Dakota to watch Celebrity Big Brother 2 US with Tamar and Candy.
Okay, so I have not seen the Celebrity Big Brother US, but I have seen a couple of scenes from that season with Tamar and Candy, because they had like outside drama between, I guess they went on a tour together and they were like fighting about that. But then Tamar was just on the Nene Leakes podcast show and was reading Candy, saying that she is one of the like most gossipy, meanest girls in Atlanta. So go watch the Nene Leakes show with Tamar, and she was reading Lonnie Love. She was reading, I'm not saying I agree with it, but she was reading Lonnie Love, Candy Burris, everybody. Like, add that to your list to watch the Nene Leakes show with Tamar Braxton. And I think it just came out a couple days ago. She went in on some people.
Also, remind me before we close, and we're going to talk about some casting drama tea for some other stuff. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to make myself a note, and then we're going to move on along so we can finish up this episode. Here we go. If I don't make myself a note, I'm going to completely forget about it. So we are entering the main stage, and we have, where's it at? The category is Drag Family Resemblance. And first up, we have Miss, let's see. First, let's go through. Tamar is mean. She was calling Lonnie. Ben says, let's run CBB2 back. Celeb Big Brother is insane in the U.S. Todrick Hall played that game like Dan Giesling and still gets hate. And then Joseph Collins said, well, he was hated for other things.
Yeah. He likes to have events and bring reality stars on to host and then not pay them.
And he also likes to have these rap parties at his house, and now he don't have a house anymore.
Justice for Manila Luzon's paycheck.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do the runway. We're going to show their runway look, and then we're going to show their music video look, or their music video performance. So we're going to judge both together. But we're not going to, because of the performance, we're not going to do if we would tip them $1 or anything like that. We're just going to do the looks. Okay. So first up, we have Miss Deja Sky. And I'll let you go first.
So Michelle Visage did not like this at all. She said that she didn't see Sister. I kind of agree with, oh my God, who is our guest judge?
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale from Van Helsing. Yes. She said that this is how sisters look. Very like opposite, like blonde hair, black hair, one's tan, one's light skin, one's wearing, like they're wearing kind of the same dress, but different colors. I see where it's not really a strong family resemblance. Like the dresses could have been a bit more identical, although they're the same material. They're just different. Like I wish Deja's, since she did the lime green, I wish Deja's would have been like hot pink and the mesh would have been hot pink as well. Like hers is lime green and the fabric is lime green, and then kept the blonde hair and everything. I feel like that would have made it more Family Resemblance. I don't think it was the strongest Family Resemblance of the night, but I feel like it's because of the dresses. So I'm gonna give it a. We're still doing mop it and everything, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I would mop them because I would definitely wear them, and I thought it was an overall good. I thought it was overall good for me. Like, and I thought she was probably one of the prettiest makeovers of the whole episode.
Okay. House of D says Deja's looked unfinished, so I didn't like it, and I wanted her to go far.
Yeah.
I agree with D. I agree with Michelle as well. I do not see Family Resemblance. There are other queens that did that a lot better than she did. And come on, this is we're going into season 18 of regular of regular Drag Race, and this is season 10 of All Stars. On Makeover Challenges, it doesn't matter if you're in the same wheelhouse. They want you to almost be a carbon copy of each other. Like, they want to be able to look and say, okay, yes, that came from the same outfit. They want it cookie cutter looking the same. So if we know that by now.
They read her from the neck up. It is Family Resemblance, just different color, same hair, different colors. But
no, that is not the same hair. That's completely different hair.
But Bosco's, I don't think Bosco's Family Resemblance was that strong either. Like, her outfits were the highest fashion and most expensive, but I don't feel like her look.
Well, I'll show you how you're wrong in a minute when we get to Bosco. But as for this, this for me was a couch catastrophe. And I mainly say that because I also wanted to use that graphic.
Come through with the graphics, the new graphics. Hey.
But yeah, I did not like it, and it's disappointing because I really wanted her to do good. Kay Duncan says Deja's hip area looks bad. That too. This is just not the Deja that I feel like we are used to, and I also feel like the fit is off on Deja's outfit. And I know she had weight loss surgery, and I know she lost a lot of weight, but that's still not an excuse to walk down the runway in something that's that ill-fitting. Like,
I just wish her mesh wasn't tan. Like, the other one was lime green with the lime green fabric. I wish it would have been a baby pink with the baby pink fabric, or a hot pink with a hot pink. Like, it's tan and then the fabric is pink.
Yeah, because she's trying to go for like a nude illusion where it's like wrapped type thing. So yeah.
They should have done nude illusion for the green one too.
Well, that's why it's not a good Family Resemblance.
That's why I said, I was like, I know they're trying to go for the same dress. I just felt like the color of the mesh is really what throws it off more than anything. But I would wear it, so I would mop it.
Next up, we have Miss Irene, the alien. And House of D said her daughter looked better. She did. Let's see. Let me remove there. Add to there. Irene the alien. I thought that this was high glam fantasy. I absolutely loved it. And I what I love the most is how unsure her girl was throughout the entire thing. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to look like a Boo Boo the Clown the Fool. And then she comes out and you can tell that she loved what she looked like. She got the full fantasy once she got all up in geesh. But yeah, House of D says Irene killed this. I agree. I'm going to say that. Oh,
I'm going to mop it. Like, although it is one of the strongest makeovers that we've ever had, like, on Drag Race, and it is very, like, clown meets, like, Back to the Future space, like, high fashion. I knew Irene was going to turn it out. I would mop
for me, this is going to be my slay of the day.
I'm going to mop it. I know everyone's going to disagree with my slay of the day. Everyone is, but I'm gonna mop this.
Okay. Well, we're moving right on along to Miss. We got Miss Bosco.
See, I love the look. I feel like this is the prettiest. Like, this is the most high fashion and the prettiest look, and probably the most expensive on the runway.
But right here, so hold on, so right here, I paused it. They both have very similar hair, and you can tell it's similar. It's different up styles, but it's similar colors. Whereas with Deja, it was two completely different wigs and two completely different style of wigs, and they were both styled completely differently.
But their outfits looked more alike than these outfits do.
Okay, but but that's what I'm saying. But because the eye shape is so, like, from the neck up, they look like they're from the same family. They just, like sisters, would have different hairstyles. Because I don't know, like me and my sister wear our hair completely differently. And then it's okay to wear different clothes when the clothes are elevated, but they still look like they came from the same designer. You see what I'm saying? Whereas for me, for Deja, it does not look like it came from the same designer. It looks like it came from two completely different stores. Like, I completely could buy that. Daddy went and bought both of them, these outfits, and yeah.
I love the look, and like I would mop both of these looks. I think they're gorgeous. The judges basically want you to be like yin and yang with your hair, the same on the makeup, and they want you to have the same outfit but in a different color, essentially, is what they want you to have. And I just feel like their outfits did not read the same as Deja's, but I will say Bosco's, their makeup and their hair were identical, just mix and match. But I feel like from the neck down, it wasn't. Whereas Deja's, from the neck down, we could tell they were sisters. It's just from the neck up, we couldn't. So it was like total opposite for both of them. But right. Bosco's was more high fashion than Deja's, obviously.
So for me, for Bosco's look, I am definitely gonna mop this one. What about you?
Mop it.
Mop it as well? Cool. All right. Moving on up. Oh, no, not yet. Wrong button. Wrong button. Next up, we have Miss Phoenix. I'll go first. Girl, I was like, this is giving lostmall.com. Her girl looked lost walking down the runway for me. Like, especially like right. Hold on, let me go back just a little bit. Right here. Like, she's constantly like looking all over the place. Like, where am I supposed to go? What's going on? Like complete, like, look like a deer caught in headlights, scared, like, what the fuck's going on? And her walk was, and I know she doesn't do it all the time, but she's the only girl whose walk stood out of like, oh. Just said maybe it's because it's fresh in my mind, but Bosco is giving Eurovision. Yes, I agree.
Very good comparison.
And House of D says Phoenix, I like the selling of it, but no.
Phoenix is giving us a flashback Friday. She was trying to reinvent her entrance look on her original season of Drag Race season 3. But it is a good look, but I don't feel like it's as, I feel like the look is better than Deja's look was, but I just feel like it was kind of basic for the runway because it was just like all black. It was like latex and pleather. It was just kind of basic. Like, I thought it was cute. It was a little homage. It was like a flashback Friday. We love Phoenix. It was just kind of like it was a little bit more simple compared to everybody else's.
Yeah, I'm giving this a popcorn pass.
Yeah, I would wear it, but I'll give it a popcorn pass as well.
Cool. Ben said, guys, I lied. Back to tornado sirens. Well, stay safe. You know, don't fly away. Don't be Dorothy.
That's actually not a tornado siren. Mackenzie just blew up a toilet, and that's the alarms, the smoke alarms going off in every.
Yeah, this was girl. And Phoenix. I'm glad to see Phoenix back. I just look. If you're going to bring back old school queens from that far back that have not been on in a while, then in my opinion, you need to pair them with other queens that have not been on in a while. It's not really fair, in my opinion, to put them with some of the people that they're putting, like Bosco, for example. And I mean, Irene, I would say the same about but Irene has at least been on more recently, so she has more of an understanding of what to expect. But even still, like, I don't know. But, you know, I'm very glad to have seen Phoenix come back. It's just, yeah. Moving on along, we go to the next queen, which is Olivia Lux.
I thought this was cutesy. Like, I didn't know what she was gonna do when she put the guitar dress on her in the workroom. Very like disco, very 70s. I love like the asymmetrical afro because I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I thought it was cute because they like the white with the black hair, and then like the dresses are like a keyboard and a guitar, black and gold, but like each dress had the similar color scheme in it. I thought it was cute. Like I would mop it.
Girl. We've only got one queen left. That means you're going to fucking slay of the day. Then I'm going to be done with you.
Who said slay of the day?
No. That means you've only got one more outfit, which means the next one's who you're going to give your slay of the day to. I'm questioning your judgment.
No. I thought it was her overall.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
House of D says a redemption. I would mop this look. I thought it was very cute. I thought it was fun. I do feel like she phoned it in a little bit though, because I feel like she did her makeup, saw how similar they looked, and we're like, oh, we look just alike. We're going to win this. I don't feel like there was much other, like they should have been hamming it up at the end of that stage instead of just going, it just, to me, it was a little lackluster in the performance department. I feel like if they had really hammed it up and really had a little bit more fun with it, that they probably would have won. But I feel like there were larger personalities.
They're the only one that used a prop, and it was cute, like with the headphones. I thought that was very cute.
Ben, get your fucking ass underground, go into the center part of your home, furthest away from where you think it would be coming from. A bathroom is better. Take your phone with you. Take, if you got a flashlight, a bottle of water, but at least some pillows or a blanket to cover yourself. Thank you. Yeah. But other than that, like, I loved, like, she looked, and this, again, they look the most alike. So, and that was one of the things I think that the judges complimented them on, that of everyone, they were, they were the most, family resemblance, but it was just too simple what they did, together on the runway, moving on along, we have, last but certainly not least, Aja.
Yeah, and Mackenzie was already reading me beforehand. Y'all can read me for whatever you want. Y'all can say it's too costumey, like Michelle said, but I don't know. I I grew up, maybe I'm biased because I love like fairies and mermaids and stuff. I thought this was cute. The wings, the tutu dresses, the fact that like the matching wigs, they had the boots on. I thought that, and they had like the shimmer all over them. I thought this was so cute. Like, this was my slay of the day. Maybe it's not as high fashion, but I'm sorry. When did they decide that Drag Race was going to be less drag and costumes and more high fashion? We have
It don't have to be high fashion, but it ain't got to be Party City.
That ain't Party City.
Bitch. I have seen that exact outfit at Party City.
I like it.
Girl, this is a popcorn pass for me. This is not main stage ready. This is, which I mean, she is from the hood, but this is cheap hood. Like, this isn't even high hood. This is cheap hood. Like, girl. House of Tea says, was her daughter's wing missing during the runway, but returned during the judging? Yeah. I noticed that too. I think both of their wings were missing during the lip sync. Actually, now that I'm looking at it,
they were going to be dancing and stuff, and they didn't want.
Well, then why? Then they should have left it on. All the rest of the queens left off their full outfits. So why did they get to take half of their outfit off? It's because they were flimsy as fuck, and they looked
because Aja's choreography and lyrics were the best bunch.
I'm sorry, if you gonna come out here, yeah, this is giving cheap ballroom, and this is not ballroom. This is RuPaul's Drag Race main stage. But if you're gonna come out and do something like wings, we've got 1,000 queens that have done wings a hell of a lot better than that. Courtney Act, for one. Don't come out there with some bullshit trying to look like Tinkerbell and go, girl, I hate this look. Hate. But yeah, I felt disconnected. I don't feel like that was also some of the critiques that they got, that there was a disconnect with between both of them and their looks. And it was a little too costumey. And I mean, sorry,
a disconnect in their looks.
Huh?
There was a disconnect in their looks.
Yes.
It's the same hair, the same dress, and everything, but a different color.
I mean,
This is my say. Y'all can disagree with me.
It was the simplest drag. Like, that makeup took 15 minutes to do. That is not drag makeup. That is not a drag queen.
But I will say, y'all can read me for me giving this my slay of the day. Maybe I'm partial, maybe I'm biased. I don't know. My second would have been either Irene or Olivia. That would have been my other second close slay of the days for me. But this is my slay of the day. And I will say Aja's lyrics and Aja's performance on the runway was the strongest out of everybody on that stage.
Ben said it's giving California Girls. House of D says it's a chop then, LOL. And House of D says, I realized Aja's drag is going into the cosplay side. I do like it. All right, so let me remove this and this and this. Let's see. There we go. And take off that. And Ben says, guys, I think I just took a photo of a tornado. Checking that off my bucket list. It's gone now.
I'm glad.
Okay. You going? All right, Dorothy. Dorothy Gale. So we find out that so the critiques were very sharp tonight. The judges clocked Deja's lack of resemblance. They praised Irene for being seamless. They loved Bosco's whole vibe. Phoenix got called out for being in her head. Olivia got kudos for resembling family without matching. And Aja got shaded for her look being hard to digest. The top two are Bosco and Irene. And they lip sync to Pocketbook by Jennifer Hudson. What did you think of the lip sync?
I was expecting Bosco to do like a little bit more, although she matched the vibe of the song. I felt like Irene was like doing a little bit more comedy. And I think that's what the judges were wanting. So I definitely think that for the vibe of the song, I feel like Bosco got it a little bit more. But as for like the comedy of it all and giving us everything on stage, Irene did give us comedy.
Ben said the left is freaky and the right is giving Dora Kimsley. And this, Ben, is why we love you.
All she's missing is the transatlantic accent.
I really thought that Bosco was going to blow it up. And then once I saw Irene pull her boob out and start, patting it on her face, which is an old school trick, I was like, okay.
When she bent over and started like wobbling her legs back and forth, I was like, yeah.
But that's why I thought Bosco won it, because when you do that, that means you don't know the words. Like, there is never a moment on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, if I'm lip syncing, I'm turning my back to the judges unless I don't know the words. That's just my opinion. House of D says, I disagreed with the top two as well as the winner. House of D, please let us know, who do you think should have been in the top two and who do you think should have been the winner? I thought this was good. I was glad that Irene got a win. Just because that's going along with the little story arc that we've got right now, and where she is just kind of really dominating the first part of this competition. It's going to be interesting for me to see. I mean, we knew she was fierce based off of her season and her looks that she posted, because you and I have been talking about that since her season, how much we love that. But it's going to be great seeing how she pairs up to the other heavy hitters and how well she does, especially because Snatch Game will be coming up on semifinals and then their talent show, and seeing how she does in another talent show. Is she going to make ice water again? So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. We find out that Irene has won. And Bosco got second. So now they are in the top. Irene with 7 points, Bosco with 6 points. And we find out that the queens are going to have to bestow their badges on the main stage live. And they're going to have to write down the queen that they want to give it to. I thought this was smart, because then you can't give the queen that, oh, well, you gave me one, I'm going to give you one. They're just having to show their cards right there and write it on the mirror. First up, we have Aja, and Aja gives her point to Deja Sky. I was a little shocked, but I mean, the alliances had just crumbled, so good for her. Guys, it went from 0 to 100. I got one on video. I'm now in a corner. Send me the video. I want to see it, but stay fucking safe, bitch. Next up, we have Deja Sky, and Deja Sky gives hers to Olivia. Then Olivia gives hers to Aja. And then Phoenix, and Phoenix did say, I'm going to be the tiebreaker. I'm going to be the one that decides which one of you go. Because up to this point, we are at a three-way tie.
Olivia and Deja did not give her a point throughout this whole time. Nobody gave her a point. And she's like, I can give it to the 3 girls that have been in the top that did not give me a point, because they couldn't give me a point because they were in the top. So rightfully so, she gave it to the one person that had been in the top that might have maybe given her a point had she not been in the top. And rightfully so, she gave it to Aja. And
Alpha D says Olivia should have been top 2. I would agree with you if they would have done more on the main stage. It felt very lackluster, like she was tired. She was like, okay, let's get this over with. It did not feel like it was full of energy like some of the other queens did. But I agree that they had the best outfits other than Irene. and I felt like she had the most family resemblance, but it was lackluster. And
Phoenix held on to her word. She's
I
like,
also feel like maybe that Olivia was a little beat up going into this episode because they just had this big fight. And so I felt like she was trying, maybe, in my opinion, it seemed like someone who was not trying to it kind of maybe looked like, okay, I'm not going to be in the top. So maybe not trying to outshine Aja because, I don't know. We don't really know what happened, but it just, there was a lot going on in this episode, probably and mentally for some of them.
Personally, I feel like the top 3 that made it through to the next round against the rest of the queens, I feel like the top 3 was right. And the top 3 were the people that have been in the top 2 this entire time. Aja won the first episode. Irene or Bosco won the second, and then Irene won the third. So I just feel like they were like they've been in the top the full 3 episodes. I feel like.
Well, and like Joseph Collins said, Aja comes from a ballroom house that respects their elders. This had nothing to do with who deserved it, though Aja did deserve it. Aja paid attention to Phoenix because the bitch has paid her dues. Exactly. And I must say that Deja also paid her dues to Phoenix. Those are the only 2 that you saw talking to her throughout the entire episode, really.
Her, Bosco, and Phoenix are really close.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, we didn't really see her and Bosco having long conversations. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, but yeah. Because if that was the case, Phoenix could have just given hers to, Bosco, and then like RuPaul can decide who's gonna have the tie. Yeah, so we find out that Phoenix gave hers to Aja, which means that Irene, the alien, Bosco, and Aja move forward in their bracket to the semifinals. But wait, there's more. Deja, Olivia, and Phoenix are eliminated, or are they? We find out that the main stage judges are all going to be allowed to pick a favorite, and that person will be put into maybe a golden box or something, and one of them will come back, which I would like to remind you all, I predicted at the beginning of this season and said that there would be a wild card. I thought it was going to be the queens who voted them in, but it looks like it's going to be the judges who voted them in. Ding! I think that's yeah, I like that. Who do you hope out of this bracket goes or moves forward? Out of Phoenix, Olivia, and Deja.
I feel like justice for Phoenix because I feel so bad for her, but I don't know, probably. I would say Olivia, but
I would say, based off of the challenges, I would say Deja has a better chance of. And I don't know because there's no information. I know, and I'm not going to say, but I know who moves forward in the finale, like to the finale or to the semifinals, but I don't know who goes forward from each bracket. So I'm just, yeah. And I'm just going to say Deja based off of her performance in the acting challenge, and based off her being a winner of Snatch Game previously and knowing that that's the first semifinal round event, I feel like that they might have, because I don't think Olivia did too well on her Snatch Game.
I feel like Olivia's drag has like just soared so much since her original season, but like justice for Phoenix, because I feel like Phoenix didn't get to do the Snatch Game either. So I feel like I'd really like to see what Phoenix would do for the Snatch game. So I'm going to say Phoenix.
Look over there. I'm saying that to Joseph. Ben's. No, I see it again. And then Joseph says, this has me wondering who they consider a main judge. Is Tess Madison getting a pick? Will Law Roach get a pick? I think it's going to be, maybe they'll have to vote, and then, whoever gets the top vote from each one. Or or it could be that each one of them, Law, TS, maybe Michelle, they all get a pick, and maybe they all go into a box. So then it could be 15 balls in a box. So I don't know. We'll see. That's TBD. But because Rue comes in with that final gag, each judge will pick one of the eliminated queens for a wild card slot. So it says each judge will pick one of the eliminated queens for a wild card slot, and one name will be drawn to re-enter the competition in the finale. We have in the semifinals. So
draft picks.
Yes. Well, but really quickly, I want to bring up. Let me remove that. Let's see. Brackets. So on Team Mackenzie, I have lost Lux, but I still have Irene the Alien. Team Dakota, she's lost Deja Sky, but she still has Aja. That's why you picked Aja, bitch, because Aja's in your fucking bracket. Now I know why you picked Aja. I was like
Aja. I liked her. She was a little unlikable on her original season, but she was also like 21. She was young, so I'll give her a pass. I loved her on All Stars, and like I follow her on social media and stuff. So like, yeah, maybe I was a little. That's why I said maybe I'm a little bit biased. I don't know, but I also like
Team Tsunami has lost Phoenix, but she still has Bosco.
Yep. So we all have a top 3 girl from the orange bracket, but we all also lost one. So,
yep. So real quickly, I want to go over some reality TV are if you don't like spoilers and if you don't like knowing who's in cast ahead of time, click out now or forever hold your peace. We love you. Thanks for watching. But we're going to talk about The Traitors, season 4. Rumored cast. Oh, it's hard to see this.
I'm like looking in.
Let me see if I can change. Oh, that's better. So rumored Traitors US season 4 cast. From the Real Housewives, we have rumored Nene Leakes, Mary Cosby, Eva Marciel, Margaret Josephs, and Dorinda Medley. From Survivor, we have Aubrey Bracco, Russell Hantz. Russell. David Junot and Benjamin Coach Wade. From Big Brother, we have Frankie Grande, Taylor Hale, Kay Sarita. From RuPaul's Drag Race, Bianca Del Rio and Jujubee. From Celebrity Big Brother, Tiffany Pollard and Gemma Collins.
Honestly, Mary Crosby.
Shut up.
Oh, sorry, y'all. That's one of her many male suitors she has locked in the closet. So Mary Crosby, honestly, from like Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, she's one of my favorites. She is a walking intrusive thought. She's one of my favorite girls on the Real Housewives franchise. She's my number 1. But Nene Leakes and Mary Crosby, from the Housewives, Frankie Grande from Big Brother, and then Bianca and Jujubee from RuPaul's Drag Race, and then Tiffany Pollard and Gemma Collins from Celebrity. Those are my top, 2, 4, 6. Those are my top 7 from that because they are going to bring such good TV.
Joe Scott said, I called Frankie. Traders comes out right around the same time as Wicked Part 2. NBC is cross promoting. Yes. Yeah, I agree. Nene Leakes is gonna be good. Mary Cosby, Russell Hantz. I mean, he's gonna have a lot piled against him because people know who he is and know of him. But y'all, you don't know maybe as much for Big Brother, but Frankie Grande is a beast. Frankie Grande. So Dakota's not a Big Brother viewer. We're going to try to convert her this summer. But Frankie Grande went on before Ariana was really big and announced, on middle of the season that he was the pop star's brother. But then alienated himself from the rest of the house and one of the competitions to where he was competing and no one would help him or compete with him. Everyone set out because they wanted him to lose so they could kick him out. And he single-handedly won the competition by his fucking self. And it was like a balancing, lifting competition. Like, Frankie Grande is a fucking beast.com. Taylor Hell is a winner. She's amazing. Kaser, also amazing. Bianca and Jujubee are going to be fun to watch. Tiffany and Jim are going to be fun to watch. Like, this is a good cast. Like,
they were not particularly shoes that I would wear. They were Old Maiden type of shoes.
Yeah. Let's see. Ben says, at what point Josh Martinez and Michelle Fitzgerald were on the cast? Just Colin said, UK is doing Celebrity Traders and the cast looks chaotic as yes, I saw that as well. It does look chaotic as fuck. And then Frankie Grande is actually a comp beast and a decent strategist. After he overcame that battle of the block, it was smooth sailing. And he was just on a podcast with Monet Exchange. And on that podcast, he was talking about the traders and really going deep into how you have to change your game mentality going into the traders from a show like Big Brother. So, I mean, Frankie might be our best shot to have like a Big Brother winner of the traders. And that's just because he's mentally there.
Do we see another bromance? Do we think he's going to convert another straight man? What?
Well, girl, rumor has it that he slept with half the straight men on his season of Big Brother. Like, more than just the one.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, him and Zach were in a relationship outside for at least a small amount of time. So, I mean, girl.
They were just bros.
Ben says, wait, Gemma with Tiff, I am dead.
Oh, my God. You can't, honestly, I know Gemma is famous from the show Towie in the UK, and then I know that Tiffany got her star on Flavor of Love. But them together, you cannot have them without them being in the same room together. I'm sorry. They might fight like cats and dogs. Tiffany Pollard is reality TV. She is.
Yep. And drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen. But we will officially be back this summer for Big Brother Season 27, premiering on Wednesday, July the 10th. You know how we do. We go live right after every single, last season, we went live right after every single elimination episode. But I am going to go ahead and say now that we will be going live after every episode, even if my fat ass is the only one sitting here talking about it. We're at least going to go live on it. We are doing a production meeting in a week to really start ramping up preparation for this season of Big Brother. And let me just pull up really quickly. It's going to be very, very interesting. The layout of this season. We will also be doing exit interviews again this year. We're excited to continue being a press affiliate for Big Brother. But Thursdays, we're going to have from 8 to 9:30 a 90-minute episode on the 10th. Then Thursday nights will be an hour starting the next week. Then on Sundays, we're going to have a 90-minute episode as well on the first premiere week. After that, it will be an hour. But we will have 90-minute episodes on Wednesdays, Then on Fridays, it's going to be a Big Brother Unlocked. We don't really know what the Big Brother Unlocked is going to be yet, but it will start on Friday, July 25th, 2 weeks after the premiere, and then it will air every 2 weeks after that. Ben, definitely. Anybody who wants to jump in and talk about Big Brother with us this season, message me on Instagram or actually not Facebook because I won't get it, X or Twitter, whatever. And we will put you on a list to be able to come on and talk about it because we would love to hear from y'all what you think for Big Brother. But yeah, the Friday nights is going to be the Big Brother Unlocked. It'll be an hour episode every 2 weeks. I almost wonder if it's going to be like a recap of what's happened with, some former legends. And we're also getting teased that this is going to be the biggest season of Big Brother ever. And while it is the 27th season, this is the 25th year for Big Brother. So,
didn't y'all interview one of the cast members this past season, last summer?
We interviewed all of the pre-jury. So we will continue doing that this year. And yeah.
Who was the cute one?
Do what?
Who was the cute one?
Oh, God, why do you have to ask me this question? I forget.
I mean, to be honest,
Tucker.
It's the only one that I watched.
Tucker. Daddy.
Yeah. She was like, "You were robbed, Tucker." And I'm like, I commented, I was like, what a weird way of saying, please sleep with me.
Girl, he don't even have to sleep with me. He could just slap me in the face with it and I'd be happy. I'll be like, thank you, Daddy. I never met Child. Well, maybe we will be able to resolve that because, we'll see. I'm not overpromising for anybody other than myself. Joseph Collins says, we're getting 2 houses. I think they want a reason to transition into a new house. And this is a good pitch to CBS. Maybe. We'll see. As soon as we have any details, we will let you all know. But until then, we are going to continue being here every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central for All Stars 10. We'll be back next Friday for episode 4, where the second group, the pink group, comes in and makes their entrances. And they're going to be coming in hot. And I think we might be getting 2 episodes again, but I'm not sure. But I think we get 2 episodes again. Dakota, where can everyone follow you on your social medias?
It's Dakota Rayne XOXO on Facebook and Instagram, and then it's Dakota Rayne with 3 E's on Snapchat.
And y'all, she's not here tonight, but show her some love. Make sure you follow Tsunami on all social media platforms at Tsunami Rayne Duvall. You can follow me on most social media at KenzieJoe205 or on Twitter /X at Kenzie_reality. You can also follow the Couch Potato Queens. You can like us on Facebook. Follow Couch Potato Queens on Twitter at Couch Potato QWNZ. Instagram, Couch Potato Queens. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. That helps us out so much. And once this live stream ends, if you would just hit refresh on the YouTube, make sure you hit like and scroll down and comment on the actual video. That helps us out in the algorithm so much. And you can also keep an eye out because www.couchpotatoqueens.com will be launching soon with some new information and a new site. So we are excited about that. Anything else you want to talk about, Miss Dakota?
Nope.
All right. Well, we will see you all next Friday night. And until then, keep it shady, stay spuddy, and remember, all stars are playing for points, but we are here for the petty. Stay safe, y'all.
Bye.